So one of the huge influences which you'll probably notice across the game is Homeworld. A lot of people have already drawn that comparison. We love the light trails and we love the atmosphere and stuff of Homeworld, the kind of brooding pace of it all, and that's something that I was really keen to capture in the game. You can see from some of the early mood pieces that we got painted that we were really trying to capture that kind of Homeworld feel. I mean, that's the Western influences. There's kind of other influences too. Obviously, Junji's mechanical design is really important to the visual style of the game, and we didn't want to lose that. I wasn't keen to make it too cell shaded or anything like that. So I definitely wanted to keep the kind of rendering style of Homeworld, but update it because obviously Homeworld's pretty old, and we're making a next-gen game. So shaders, spec maps, and normal maps and everything are included.
For me, 90s space combat games, massive influence. Flight sims as well, you know, World War II ones, that kind of thing. Generally, that whole kind of genre that sort of disappeared in the late 90s, it all comes from that. And on top of that as well, a lot of Japanese mecha games, a bit of Armored Core, a bit of Gundam, that sort of thing.
We've only got one mech in the game at this point. That's around 6,000 tries. We've got some other playable ships and they range right down to simpler shapes which are around 5k or 6k tries.
So it'll be like X-Wing, TIE Fighter, that kind of thing. So if you play those games, very similar. It has a lot of naval stuff going on as well. So defending a carrier from an ambush or escorting bombers on a raid, invading space stations, transport stocking the stations, guarding them, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much space combat style missions.
So no, the UI is not actually customizable. We've put a lot of effort into it, trying to make it as user-friendly as possible and trying to give it some style. Hopefully you like it. It's got a kind of high-level concept, which is the idea of the strike suit operating system. So the idea was that as soon as you start the game, you feel like you're booting up the strike suit and you enter the front end and you're actually still using the strike suit's operating system. And as you transfer into the actual in-game world, it's still the strike suit operating system that's giving you your information. So you'll see some OS styling on there. You see in other games like Battlefield and stuff like that, they're kind of simulating the human eye with a lot of their post-processing and how they affect the UI and things like that. With us, since you're in a strike suit, it seemed more appropriate to kind of simulate a camera, and you'll see kind of camera style distortion and noise and interference when you're taking damage and things like that, rather than the sort of more classical sort of eye effects or iris effects.
So to get the perfect ending, you need to get a certain score in the mission, as well as do second objectives in the mission, which kind of hint at things that could be done to help improve the ending and improve the outcome. Now, the outcome of Earth is determined by whether or not you finish the game, but the result of that, you know, what happens to your fleet, what happens to the political situation, what happens to the characters you've met throughout the game, that's the ending that changes.